안녕하세요. Hello everyone, it's Rick again, and welcome back to Hidden Hangugin. Today I'm bringing you my adoption story. I know quite a bit about this because of a 22-page first-person narrative written by my father in pursuit of my biological parents. It's extremely helpful, but it's quite self-indulgent, and I'll give you an example. Buoyed by my earlier success, I plunged into the search for Ricky's mother. Based on some very real obstacles, this effort was destined to become a failure. My biggest hurdle was lack of basic information. The only thing I really knew was the woman's name, and that's not a real lead in Korea. I had no place to start, so, absent divine guidance from the clouds, I made the trek to the Social Welfare Society again. Anyway, my adoptive father tracked down my biological mother thanks to some help from the hospital where I was born. He had a long conversation with her both in Korean and in English, and he took notes and he got some pictures. This is the story as I know it. My biological mother was working in a club when she met my biological father, a black U.S. Army sergeant. They dated for a while, and they even lived together. She got pregnant, she wanted to have an abortion, he didn't approve of it, and then he went back to the United States a few months before I was born. On her own, my mother was moving from place to place until she met someone from St. Vincent's Home for Amer-Asian Children, otherwise known as Father Keen's, which is the place from which I was adopted. My adoptive parents were living in Seoul at the time, and they adopted first a half-Korean girl, and then me from Father Keen's, who moved back to the United States not long after I was adopted. As I got a bit older, I began to get more interested in my Korean half, exploring food and music and a little bit of language. In 2019, I was lucky enough to go to Korea for the first time since my adoption, joined by my wife, my older sister, and her family. One of the things I really wanted to do was go to the site of Father Keen's, which I knew no longer existed. On one of my last days there, we went on a day-long trek, hiring a car and traipsing around Incheon in search of the site, finally finding it with the help of some locals. Cheonjugyo Sangnak Samdong Sungdong, Catholic Church. We went inside, and while walking around, we encountered a worker. Upon talking to us, he gave us a book that chronicled the history of the church, what it used to be to what it is now. Inside, there are pictures of Father Keen's, which you'll see here. It was very important to me to see the place where my life as I knew it began, and it was a far more fulfilling day than I could have expected. Today, I'm the father of a 6-week-old daughter. While my wife was pregnant, I took a 23andMe test so I could find out what I might be passing along to our unborn child. A byproduct of this is a long list of DNA relatives in their database. There were no very close connections except for a second cousin who I did contact because I determined that he was related to my biological father, and I wanted to verify that the name we have down for him was correct. Unfortunately, I didn't have any luck. You never heard of him. I'm still hoping that at some point some real family connection will surface. So that's my story. If you have any questions, please leave a comment below. Don't forget to subscribe. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you again. 감사합니다.